Let's take a look at my TBR for the rest of 2024. Hello, my name is Emily Crow from The Cozy Crow, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome to Vlogmas. I thought it would be a really fun, kind of a quicker video for me to do, just talking about all the books that I hope to get through as we are finishing off 2024. I didn't have a lot of reading goals for this year. I just wanted to read and enjoy what I was reading. I did have one goal, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. I had 24 physical books on my TBR I wanted to read in the year 2024, and I'm doing pretty good on that goal, but there's some books I still need to check off that list for the end of this year. And I have some other more short-term goals that I have developed that I really want to meet before 2025. Let's talk about all the books that I hope to get through in the month of December. I've got quite the stack here. We'll see how I do. It's a lot of books. I don't know how many, but I'll be talking about each and every one of these and why they are on my list of books to read this month. First off, I have a couple series that I'm in the middle of that I really would love to finish before the end of the year, just to have like a clean slate. And it's hard having your brain power dispersed through many different series that you're in the middle of. So it's nice to kind of clear things off of the plate and get some conclusion about some of these storylines and characters that I have loved. This one I definitely will get through, and this is Sentinel by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is part of the Covenant series. It is a 5-book series. It's like a YA fantasy romance where the characters are descendants of the Greek gods. There are purebloods who are pure descendants and half-bloods that are half descended from the deities and half mortal. And it talks about the different political and social implications of these different groups of people. There's demons that you encounter early on in the series. There's some plots to overthrow the way that things are. There's some drama with the deities. And this is the very last book in the series. I've read the other 4, and it's been such a fun time to read. I feel like I'm a teenager again, and I am just eating these up. So I definitely want to read Sentinel, the final book in the Covenant series, this December. They have such pretty sprayed edges, and they just recently redid the covers. That's what caught my eye. I think they were originally published early 2010s. They got me with the covers, and I am just having such a good time. I definitely want to finish that. And I would love to continue on maybe reading other Jennifer L. Armentrout books in the new year, but that'll be a different video talking about my goals for 2025. Without seeing the covers, can you guess what series I am also in the middle of? I'm in the middle of A Court of Thorns and Roses. I found ACOTAR was a decent book. It was fine. I wasn't particularly attached to it, but then I just finished A Court of Mist and Fury, and it blew me away. And I have to keep reading this series. I am so entrenched in the world of Sarah J. Maas. I finished Throne of Glass this year. I started Crescent City. I took a break from the Crescent City series so I could read ACOTAR and get more perspective as I jump into Crescent City 3. I would love to finish the Mossverse this year. Is that possible now? I don't know, though I do have these 2 books, books 3 and 4, one of which is a novella, on my library loans list right now, so I can finish these really soon. And then I have A Court of Silver Flames on my holds list coming up pretty soon, maybe towards mid to end of December. So I think I could still finish this series. I don't know if I'll be able to finish the Crescent City series because they don't have an audiobook for Crescent City 3, and I did the graphic audio for books 1 and 2. We'll see, but I don't read physical books very fast. I don't have a copy currently, but even if I get like an ebook from my library or a physical book from my library, I don't read those books very fast, especially when they are like 800 to 900 pages. So that's the one wild card that I'm not sure if I'll get to. But I will try to finish all of Sarah J. Maas's work this year so that I can maybe focus on a different fantasy author for next year. That's the goal. So those are like my short-term goals of books that I want to read so that I can finish those series or the backlist of certain authors. I also have a couple books that are holiday wintry themed that I would really like to get to in December. And I only have a couple of these. They're both newer releases. This is The Wedding Witch by Erin Sterling. This is the third book in the X-Hex series. I enjoyed the X-Hex, but I loved the second book, which was called The Kiss Curse. And the premise didn't quite catch me, but I love the characters. I love the storyline. And it was one of my favorite romances that I read last year, I think. And so I'm really excited to be back in the world of these characters. And this book takes place around Yule, where the main characters get thrust back in time and they try to figure out how to go back to their own time. So very different story than the others. I'm really excited to delve in. It's a pretty quick read. It's like a 7-hour audiobook. I'm still waiting for my hold, so I might just read this physically depending on if I have anything else physically that I am reading at the time. I get through audiobooks a lot faster. Hopefully my audiobook hold will come through, but if not, I think I could enjoy reading that during the holiday season. And then this book is Everyone This Christmas Has a Secret by Benjamin Stevenson. I read his other 2 books in the Ernest Cunningham series of comedic mysteries, and I've really enjoyed them. They've been fun, they've been light, but they've also been really interesting. Not like a cozy mystery type of read. There's all the like red herrings and interesting clues and complex motives that you'd find in more traditional detective and mystery stories, but in a modern day setting with some comedy thrown in. I recently finished the second book in the series, and I just stumbled upon this novella that recently came out that is holiday themed. So I'm excited to read it. I love a good novella, and I'm excited to continue in a series that I've enjoyed, and I just think this will be perfect for the holiday season. My final category of books that I want to read in December is related to my 24 and 2024. This is my list of 24 books that I had on my physical TBR shelves that I wanted to make sure to get off my shelves and read. I'm not doing as good as I had hoped with this goal. Math-wise, I could have read 2 books a month and I would have been doing great. And I did great maybe until July or August or so, and then things kind of got derailed, and I'm not sure what happened. If I was just waiting for a lot of holds or I just wasn't in the mood, but now I have 6 books on my physical TBR from this year that I really want to get through, but I have plans to get through all of them. So we'll see if I can make all of the timing work with my Libby loans. First, I really want to read One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. This is part of a duology. It's a romantasy. It sounds like it's more fantasy than romance, and that's honestly how I like my romantasies. A little bit more plot than romance. This is a duology, and I would really love to read the second book soon too. I really think I'm gonna like this. It's very dark, gothic, fantasy vibes, and the special editions I just saw at Barnes & Noble, and if I really like this book, then I'm gonna buy the special editions for both of these books, and I don't want to miss out on that. So I gotta read this fast so I can decide if I want to buy the special editions or not. And I love a good fantasy duology. It's just like the perfect amount of tension and like climax to the story with also some good conclusion. I like a duology better than a trilogy personally. Another book I hope to read is Nettle and Bone by T. Kingfisher. I read a few of T. Kingfisher's works recently, and I really enjoyed experiencing their writing and enjoying the variety in what they write too. And Nettle and Bone is one of their most popular books. It's a pretty short book. It's still considered a novel, but it's in the like low 200 pages, I think. And so this should be a really quick read. Again, like a dark gothic fantasy or dark fairy tale type of a vibe. I'm excited to read this. T. Kingfisher is an author that I want to be reading more of. I need to be more intentional about reading their work because they have so much on their backlist, but I read a few of their books this year and I definitely want to continue reading from them. These next 2 are kind of a matched set, and I did that on purpose, but my one and only maybe DNF out of this 24 and 2024 list, maybe this book. I'm gonna cover up some immodesty here. Anthony and Cleopatra by William Shakespeare. Why did I think that I would enjoy reading a play? I don't really know. I have always been a really good student in school and I really love learning. And so I liked English class and analyzing literature. It's been how long since I've been in school? Like, my brain doesn't function like that anymore because I've been out of school for so long and I've had a kid since then. My brain is just foggy now. And I would love to get back into that kind of a mindset, like a literary analytical mindset, but this was probably not the way to go. Honestly, though I have read a few scenes and I have enjoyed it, but I have to be like wide awake and ready to focus and really decipher what this Old English means for me. I have seen the play once before, but it was again in college. So I thought that reading this play would give me a lot more substance for the next book I'm going to talk about that is inspired by Antony and Cleopatra. I don't know how much it's going to add to my reading of this other book. I might just DNF it. I might try to find a play to watch or like a theater to film adaptation or something. I'm not sure, just to get a little refresher, but I just don't know if I can be as analytical about this play as I was hoping I could be. And that's just learning about myself. But that is still on my list and I've still been working on it a little bit, but I have a ways to go. If I finish this, it probably won't be in December, but I can always try. The book that is inspired by Antony and Cleopatra is Immortal Longings by Chloe Gong, and I've loved all the books I've read of hers before. She has a couple YA series that are interconnected from the Secret Shanghai universe. These Violent Delights and Our Violent Ends is one, and then Foul Lady Fortune and Foul Heart Huntsman is another duology. Anyway, I've loved those. Those were historical fantasies with a really strong romance element to it. They were YA and I just loved them so much. So I wanted to read Chloe Gong's other work. This is an adult series and the second book actually recently came out. I have that on my shelf too because I want things to match. I think I will like this book. I have heard some mixed reviews that some people say it's okay, it's all right, and some people really like it. I'm hoping I'm in the I really like it category, but we shall see. It is based off of Antony and Cleopatra, but the other series I've read, These Violent Delights series that I read from her, was based off of Romeo and Juliet. And even though I haven't actually read that play in so long, like probably 15 years, I still gleaned some Easter eggs. I don't know how much more I would have gleaned if I had read and studied that play before reading that series. So I'm wondering if it's even worth reading Antony and Cleopatra before reading this. That's just my thought. I'm not sure. I do hope to read this though, even if I put the play off to the side. The next book that I hope to read is What the River Knows by Isabel Ibanez. And this is a YA historical fantasy with a romance subplot. I'm easy to please. It sounded right up my alley. It takes place in like, I don't know, 1910s, 1920s Egypt. So super cool time period. It says for fans of The Mummy. Yes, let's do it. That sounds so fun. And with a YA, I don't have to take it as seriously. It can just be a fun time. The second book in the series also came out, also a duology. So it has everything going for it. I hope that I really like it. And the final book that I am really hoping I get to before 2025 is The Language of Thorns, Midnight Tales and Dangerous Magic by Leigh Bardugo. I am just about finished reading through her backlist. Now, I'm not going to read random, like, middle grade Marvel graphic novels. I'm not going to read some, like, weird stuff. I will read almost anything that Leigh Bardugo puts out into the world, and I have read a lot of her stuff this year. I can't remember if I read Ninth House this year or not, but I have really enjoyed the depth of her writing, and I've really loved the Grishaverse, and this is the last Grishaverse book. It's like a companion novel with some short stories about some like mythical creatures that you see in the Grishaverse. I'm not exactly sure. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so there's like 6 short stories in here originating from different regions within the Grishaverse. So I'm really excited about that, and it'll be a fun change of pace in what I'm reading because I don't read a lot of short stories, and these are all like fantasy short stories based in a world that I have really loved. So this is just gonna be a fun, cozy, wintry read. There you have it. Those are all the books that I'm really hoping I get to in the month of December. We'll see how I do. My TBRs aren't super strict and I do have a lot of other books that are on my radar that I'll probably get to, at least some of them, coming up soon. This is like all the library holds I'm waiting on right here. And these are all the books I might read physically. Maybe I should do a tour of my TBR shelf to kind of fill you in on it. But that will be another day. We'll see what I end up reading this month as I am finishing out the year. You'll notice not a lot of holiday reads, but I have been reading a lot currently, and so I did not include those in this video. You'll hear about them as I finish them in other videos. I do have a holiday reading vlog coming up, and I have at least one book and yarn related advent that I will hopefully be doing a video on as well. So keep an eye out for those. I will definitely be getting to some more holiday, cozy, wintry December type reads other than what I have here, but these are the books that I have, and I know I'm going to try really hard to get through this month. Let me know down below what you're reading. I would love to hear, and if you have any reading goals that you're trying to hit before the end of the year. I don't have a specific number I'm trying to read, but I am really proud of how much I have read and the vast scope of what I've read this year, as I've just kind of let books flow into my life and been very much of a mood reader. I would love to hear how you're doing on your goals, since my goals may look a little different than yours. And with that, I'll see you again very soon for another Vlogmas video. Happy reading!